In the deepest corner of the ancient forest, where branches stretched high like the fingers of giants clawing at the sky, there lived an owl named Oberon. Like all owls, Oberon had large amber eyes perfect for hunting in the shadows. His feathers shimmered like silver threads in the soft glow of twilight. But there was something peculiar about Oberon, something that made him quite unlike the others. Oberon hated the night. Yes, an owl who loathed the very darkness he was born into. While his family and friends reveled in the symphony of crickets and the rustling melodies of the evening breeze, Oberon sulked in his nest, wishing for the golden warmth of the sun. Every hoot shared amongst fellow owls, every excited burst into the moonlit canopy felt to Oberon like a celebration he could never join. "What's wrong with the night?" his sister Mira asked one evening, as Oberon covered his face with his wings. "It's beautiful. The stars sparkle like jewels, and the moon watches over us like a kind old grandmother." "I don't care," Oberon replied with a muffled voice. "It's cold, it's quiet, and everything hides in shadows. Why can't we fly under the sun instead? The world is alive during the day, bright and warm and full of color." Mira shook her head, puzzled by her brother's aversion to everything their kind adored. But Oberon wouldn't budge. While other owls soared across the glowing night sky, Oberon stayed perched on his branch, staring longingly at the horizon where the sun had disappeared. He wondered what it would be like to chase the light, to leave the forest's dark embrace and live under the open, radiant expanse of day. Then, one fateful evening, as Oberon sulked in his nest, something changed. The moon rose higher than it ever had before, round and golden, casting an unusual light upon the forest. It was as though the night was trying to lure Oberon out of his gloom, trying to enchant him with its mysteries. He resisted at first, burying his face even deeper beneath his wings. But then from the edge of the horizon, a single shimmering ray of moonlight broke through the canopy and fell upon his nest. It was warm, not like the sun, but gentle and soothing, almost like a whisper saying, "Come and see." Curious despite himself, Oberon stretched his wings and hopped onto the edge of his nest. The moon's golden light seemed to brighten every leaf and stone, turning his familiar world into something magical. Slowly, hesitantly, Oberon took off into the night. The air was cool against his feathers, and for the first time it didn't feel like a cold that made him retreat. It was refreshing, invigorating. He flew higher than he'd ever dared, past tree trunks, above tangled branches, and finally over the treetops. For the first time, Oberon truly looked at the night sky stretching before him. It was breathtaking. The stars shimmered in endless patterns, some as bright as diamonds, others faint and mysterious like treasures hidden far away. The moon, so round and bold, bathed the forest in silvery hues, transforming it into a landscape Oberon had never appreciated before. The dark wasn't oppressing. It was full of secrets waiting to be discovered. And then something extraordinary happened. As Oberon glided through the air, dipping between the trees and spiraling under the stars, he heard a sound, a melody unlike anything he'd experienced in the daytime. It wasn't loud like birdsong or chatty like squirrels in the morning. It was subtle and patient, rising and falling in harmony with the rustling leaves, the chirping crickets, and the hooting of his fellow owls. It was the song of the night. Oberon paused mid-flight, hovering in awe. Why had he never noticed it before? Why had the night, filled with so much beauty and music, seemed so lonely and harsh to him? He wanted to hear more, see more, feel more. As he continued to explore, Oberon saw things he'd never seen before. A fox darting through the underbrush, its coat gleaming like copper in the moonlight. Fireflies swirling in a lazy dance near the meadow, their tiny lights flickering like stars brought near. The river glistening as if studded with gemstones as it wound its way through the darkness. It was as though the night was finally introducing itself to him, showing him all its gifts. By the time Oberon returned to his nest, the stars were beginning to fade and the first hints of dawn glimmered at the edge of the sky. Oberon felt tired but exhilarated, not just physically but somewhere deep inside where his usual dread for the night had always lingered. Now, there wasn't dread, there was wonder. From that night forward, Oberon stopped wishing for the day. He no longer hid in his nest, waiting for the sun to return. Instead, he joined Mira and the other owls, soaring beneath the moon and stars, discovering new mysteries every evening. The sun was beautiful, Oberon thought as he watched the dawn rise. But the night, it was a world of its own, a quieter kind of beauty, filled with songs meant for those willing to listen. and Oberon had finally learned to hear it.